What's up, Taiwan? I'm Liao with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's Mainland Affairs Council has offered some leniency on a controversial demand that could see thousands of Chinese spouses scrambling to prove their right to reside in Taiwan. Reese Ayers reports.
Relief for some Chinese spouses in Taiwan after the government announces a new list of exemptions and delays to a controversial administrative request. The announcement from the Mainland Affairs Council, or MAC, comes after it received backlash from several groups protesting a recent demand for over 10,000 Chinese spouses and their children to provide documentation from China or face deportation. Chinese citizens seeking to gain civic rights in Taiwan are required by law to give up their household registration in China. And last week, the MAC said that those missing proof that they've done that have 3 months to go back to China and get it, with a few exceptions. On Wednesday afternoon, the MAC revealed 2 extra categories of people who are exempt from the demands for documents, in addition to the 4 existing ones. Already exempt were people who can't return to China over concerns for personal safety, those who moved to Taiwan before they were 7 years old, people with health issues or a disability that would make travelling back difficult, and those that haven't been back to China since the beginning of 2015. And the 2 new groups, people over 70 years old and people who may not be able to afford to go back to China. The MAC also announced a brand new list of groups who can delay submitting those documents, including those unable to fly due to personal commitments, for example, their military service, caregivers for children, sick people or elderly, and anyone who's pregnant. The National Immigration Agency, who handles such processes, has said they'll review all cases one by one, considering humanitarian needs and the law, a message echoed by the MAC.
不管遇到怎么样的困难，都可以向移民署、陆委会或海基会来反映，政府一定会尽最大的可能来协助民众排除障碍，也会考量个案的状况，适度延长办理期限。
As for these new allowances and how they'll be received by those protesting the original demands, they'll likely have more to say in the coming days. But for some Chinese spouses, at least exemption, and for others, a bit more time to get the things they need to continue living their lives in Taiwan. Liao and Reese Ayers for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's Defense Minister Wellington Koo has been grilled at the legislature over a string of recent spy cases, some reportedly including people close to the former foreign minister. As Rick Liao reports, Taiwan is facing an uphill battle against Chinese infiltration.
Could a spy for China have infiltrated the inner circles of Taiwan's government? The man, identified here with a red circle, was an aide to Joseph Wu, the country's last foreign minister and current national security chief. He's now detained, suspected of gathering information on Taiwan's leadership and passing it on to China, a cross-strait neighbour which claims sovereignty over Taiwan. Such cases of espionage are on the rise here, with most of the suspects being military personnel. Now feeling the heat, Taiwan's Defence Minister Wellington Koo called to answer questions at the legislature.
政治局在搞什么？我10年来支持你们，这个案子一个直接一个，层出不穷。我们自己当过兵，知道你在营区拿5星旗挥舞，部队有没有烂掉？
To weed out spies, Taiwan is already bringing back military courts, and now Koo says he wants to amend the military's penal code.
投降的这样子效忠的这样子的一个表示的时候，就本身就会构成违反陆海空军刑法。那另外投敌的部分，我们加了阴谋犯跟预备犯的部分。
President Lai Ching-te, despised by Beijing for his firm rejection of China's claims over Taiwan, has made combating Beijing's influence and infiltration central to his leadership. This rash of suspected spies coming out of the woodwork could indicate that his efforts against China, also known as the PRC, are working.
There's a claim that the PRC is stepping up its espionage activities. That having been said, with espionage cases coming to the public, of course, they create a lot of trepidation. They create they draw a lot of attention. But the fact that espionage cases are being detected also means that espionage networks are being disrupted, right?
Taiwan's defense ministry warns that China's tactics are changing, increasingly using criminal gangs and religious groups to recruit new spies. It's an evolving threat for the Taiwanese military. trying to protect their credibility and integrity as they lead the country's fight against China. Klein Wang and Rick Liao for TaiwanPlus.
President Liao, who is also chair of the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, has promised to root out spies from his party as well. He's said party officials must report before and after they travel to China, including Hong Kong and Macau, or meet Chinese officials. Google has signed its first geothermal energy deal in Asia with Taiwan. Its plan with global developer Based Load Capital will add 10 megawatts of energy to the country by 2029 and contribute to Taiwan's net zero 2050 goals. For more on the project and what it means for Taiwan, Tiffany Wong spoke with Basalt Wong, executive director at Taiwan Geothermal Association.
What does it mean that Google's first geothermal energy project in Asia is here in Taiwan?
The geothermal energy is quite popular in Asia, like India, Indonesia, Philippines, and Japan. They all have tremendous geothermal power plants, but they choose the first one in Asia. They know the Taiwan government have permit the geothermal strategy and policy, and also they have data center in Taiwan, so they have promised the 100% renewable energy. 10 megawatt in Taiwan is just a very small part because they want to finish the project by 2029. But 2030, based on the Ministry of Economic, their goal, 2030 in Taiwan, we should have 1.2 gigawatt. That means 1,200 megawatt geothermal capacity in Taiwan. So 10 megawatt is just very small part. I think that's just a beginning.
Google is partnering with Baseload Power Taiwan to develop this geothermal plant, but all of its projects in Taiwan are in development so far. What challenges do you expect to see this project face ahead?
I think they must conquer some challenges that there's some local authorities, local government. I think that's a big challenge for them, because in Taiwan the geothermal laws is only included in the renewable energies law, so they're not protect the right to developers to develop a geothermal resource on the ground. So that's a big challenge for them, because they will face a few competitors. They may choose the similar area as they choose.
Do you think corporate partnerships like this one genuinely support Taiwan's net zero goals, or do you think this is more about image than impact?
I think corporate partnership, I think, is a very effective strategy in Taiwan, because some company they have technology, some company they have land. Corporate partnership is a very effective strategy, because in Taiwan now we have to connect to global. They have more advanced technology that can utilize in geothermal and make the developer more low risk, low cost. I can imagine that it will be a very good impact for the future.
That was Basalt Wong, Executive Director of the Taiwan Geothermal Association. And thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. To finally check out these meerkats on an Easter egg hunt at a zoo in Germany. I'm Liao. Take care and see you next time.